suffered by the war, UNRRA's recent Dominion will provide bodily comfort in Europe during the coming... This is what happened to Dad's spare pants, winter coat, and Sister's old shoes. Every garment had to pass rigid supervision for cleanliness and repair. Altogether, there's over 600 tons of clothing here, valued at £1.5 million. It's going to Poland, Greece, Czechoslovakia, Albania, and Yugoslavia. This shows the way in which New Zealanders sympathize with the peoples of Europe. Cars all over the place, for today all roads lead to the Hawke's Bay show, and no less than 40,000 people are on their way. Everyone's going, or almost everyone. Most folk arrive about midday, and having parked the car, go off to fetch some hot water so they can make... After lunch, you can stroll through the Waikoko Gardens. Who likes a sideshow? Don't we all? And there are plenty around here. Come inside, cry the barkers, and see what you've never seen before. All for 1 and 6p. The gentleman is doubtful. But a good buy is a ride on the Atlantic Flyer. Nearby, a variety of scenery is on display. Though these men prefer to discuss cattle. Climax of the day is the grand parade. Everything is in it, and everyone watches it. Proud owners display their prize animals before an admiring public. From these animal aristocrats is bred the stock that keeps New Zealand in the front rank of the world's primary producing countries. Yes, it's been the best and biggest show Hawke's Bay has ever seen. It's a sign of a country's prosperity. The road bridge at Temuka River was washed away in last February's big flood. A Bailey Bridge, similar to that used by our forces in Italy to span enemy rivers, is being constructed to take its place. A bulldozer builds up the approaches for the new bridge. Large wooden planks are carried for packing, and soon the new bridge begins to take shape. The bridge is passed over the river in the same way as our boys did it in Italy. The Bailey Bridge saves motorists a 3-mile detour, and in an emergency such as this, amply proves its worth. This is how one of our biggest construction jobs on the home front was tackled. It's the building of the runways at Ohakea and Whenuapai. They were built quickly because we had equipment and we had trained men. Today, there's still a big construction job ahead of us, the biggest we've ever tackled. It's houses. Here's a little part of our housing scheme. It's a new suburb for Hut City, the suburb of Waddington. To carry out our housing plans, we need trained men, carpenters, bricklayers, plasterers, painters. These are skilled jobs for those who want them. Here at Petone, in one of the 17 training centers so far set up by the Rehabilitation Department, is where returned men are being taught all the jobs that go to the building of a house. The instructors were once foremen and contractors themselves, and the training is not all theory. These returned men learn more than how to carry bricks, and it's worth learning. They spend 6 months in the school and 18 months out on the job, and then they're full-blown bricklayers. During training, they get 5 to 6 pounds a week, and the job eventually brings in 6 to 7 a week. So it is with other jobs like tiling, with rates of pay that vary slightly. Plasterers will always be in demand so long as we go on building houses, and there are thousands to be built. The training's thorough, and it's not just how to do the rough work. Any of these jobs, as well as carpentry and others, are open to any returned man who wants them. They're his for the asking. After the school training, the real job begins. And out on jobs like this, the men find they can take their place beside the old hands. Hundreds of men have already gone through the training centers, and hundreds more are wanted if we're to complete our housing schemes, now standing like this throughout the country. There's snow on the high country. Snow that brings a crackle to the sunshine and a crispness to the air that shears the leaves off the poplars. High country farmers know that this is the time to bring their stock down to the lower levels before the heavy falls of midwinter make mustering impossible. In the early morning, with a crescent moon still in the sky, the first flocks are collected. And slowly, as the peaks light up, the thousands of sheep begin to move as one. It's hot now. The snow is only a backdrop to the valley with the dust and the noise, but the winter has started. The snow will come down here. The flocks are brought up the valley and into the yards. The big merinos that will provide clothes and blankets on the other side of the world range over the Canterbury high country. Their feed is the rough tussock that grows right to the snow line 5,000 to 6,000 feet up. It takes 5 to 10 acres to feed one sheep, but from those sheep comes the fine wool that is the best the country can produce. When the snow comes on the low levels, as the farmer knew it would, the stock is safe for the winter. But up in the heights there'll be drifts 20 and 30 feet deep, where a whole flock can be lost in one hollow. But the stock is down, and the winter has set in.